In this section, we're going to look at the built-in data structures in Python, which are extremely important when building real applications. First, we're going to look at lists, and then we'll look at tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So earlier you have seen that we can use square brackets to define a list or a sequence of objects. In between these brackets, we can have objects of any type. So we can have a list of strings like this, and then assign it to a variable like letters. We can also have a list of numbers, booleans, or even a list of lists. Let me show you. So here we have a list. Each item in this list will be a list itself. So here's the first item, which is a list of 2 items. Now let's add another item to our main or parent list. This item is also a list with 2 items. So now we have a matrix, which is a 2-dimensional list. Now let me show you some cool tricks. Let's say you want to have a list of 100 zeros. You don't want to manually create that like this. That's very ugly. Let me show you a better way. So we define a list of 1 item, 1 0, and then we can multiply it by 100. And the result will be this. Let me show you. Print zeros. Here it is. There you go. So using a star or an asterisk, we can repeat the items in a list. Now, similarly, we can use a plus to concatenate multiple lists. Let me show you. So first, I'm going to change this to 5. Now, let's define a variable combined, which is our zeros list plus letters. Let's see what happens. Print combined. You know it. So we have 5 zeros followed by A, B, C. As you can see in Python, every object in a list can be of a different type. So they don't have to be exactly the same type. We can combine a list of numbers with strings and booleans or even lists. Now, let's say you want to have a list of numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 20. You don't want to type all of these by hand. There is a better way. So we have this list function. As you can see, this function takes an iterable. So we can pass any iterable here and convert it to a list. Earlier, you learned about the range function. This function returns a range object which is iterable, which means we can iterate or loop over it. So here we can call this function and pass 20. And with this, we can create a list of numbers from 0 to 20. Let me show you. So let's store it in numbers and then print it on the terminal. There you go. So 0 up to 20. But note that 20 itself is not included. As another example, let's call the list function and pass a string. Earlier, I told you that strings are also iterable. We can loop over them. So we can pass them to the list function and see what we get. Let's print chars on the terminal. So you can see each character in our original string is an item in this list. So these are a few different ways to create a list in Python. Now that we have a list, we can get the number of items in that list using the len function. So here we can print the len or length of chars. Let's take a look. So we have 11 items in this list. Over the next few lectures, we'll look at various operations around lists.